Hello, welcome to my video about programming on a TI Nspire. This is actually part 1. In this section, we're going to look at the basic functions of programming in a calculator, the menu. We're not going to write an actual program. We'll save that for the second part. So here we go. The first thing you want to do is click Menu and go to Add Calculator. That's where you do all of your programming work on an Nspire. Open up the menu again and go to Functions and Programs, Program Editor, and New. You want to name the program. The program we're going to do is called for quadratic formula, so we're going to call it quad form. It's program and library access. We want to make it public so that you can use it in any document in an Nspire. Right here you see this is where you do the programming on an Nspire, and over here is just a regular calculator page. That's used primarily for testing the program while you're working with it. So we're going to look into the menu. The menu changes a bit for programming. The first thing we're going to look at is check syntax and store. Number 2, you have 2 options in here. One is check syntax, and that just checks your errors. It makes sure that you don't have any errors in your program, and make sure that your program makes logical sense and that the calculator will be able to do what you want it to do. And check syntax and store does that, but it also saves it so that your calculator can use the program. It saves your most recent update. So the next thing we're going to look at is control, number 4. It has all of these options for loops and different things that you can do, different functions you can perform within a program. The ones that we're going to look primarily at are if-thens and if-then-else loops. An if-then is useful if you have 2 options, like is it black or is it not black, or what have you. If something is true, you make a statement. If some statement is true, then something happens and the loop is over. In an if-then-else loop, you have an initial parameter. If something is true, then something happens. But then there are also else's if there are more than 2 options. That's what we're going to be using because there are incidentally 3 options in our program. The next thing is I/O, number 6. Gives you a few options. There's display, request. Those are really the only 2 that we're going to be using, the only 2 that you need to concern yourself with too much. The display, well, just that it displays something, text or a variable if you want. Request asks the user for some input. In this case, we'll be using pretty much just those 2. And then mode changes a number of things that are normally options in the calculator, but let's say your calculator in calculator mode is set to exact answers, where it'll give you, if the answer is the square root of 2, it'll give you the symbol the square root of 2. You can set the program to approximate that to 1.47, which is roughly the square root of 2. So it'll basically give you approximate answers in the program without affecting what the answers look like in the rest of your calculator section. So that's pretty useful, and we're going to be using that in our program. And that's about it for the menu. There's also actions here, which allows you to create a copy of your entire program so you can use it as a template in another program. You can import in the same way, import a copy or what have you, change library access, that sort of thing. Things that we won't really concern ourselves with too much. So that's about it for the menus in the TI Nspire for programming. The next video is going to be, we're going to write a program. So look forward to that, and thanks for watching.